Hi, I'm Micah, and I have 38 days to lose 25.2 pounds. It's October 23rd, and I weighed in at 227.5 pounds. Today was my first full workout day where I did my sprints, pull-ups, dips, rows, and instead of bench press, I did push-ups today. I've heard that bench presses cause problems with your shoulder over time, especially doing heavier weights. And also it limits your scapular movement because your back is pressed against the bench. So I decided, you know what? I'm just starting out. I'm not that strong. Push-ups will work fine. That's enough resistance for me. And if later on down the line I want to figure something else out, I will. But I'm not trying to get big. What I'd like to have is an athletic build that's more functional so I can do sprints, play tennis, or any other sport that I want to. I want to be more active and move more so than just look muscular. Push-ups will get me that. I tried to split up my exercises today throughout the day, so I actually did my pull-ups first thing in the morning. Maybe 2 hours later, I did my sprints. An hour later, I did rows and dips. An hour later, I did push-ups. I enjoyed every single exercise that I did this time. Maybe in the future, I'll try to move those exercises all closer together and do it as one session, but I kind of enjoy tackling each exercise separately and looking at it like a little mini challenge to do. It overwhelms me to think about dedicating a full hour at a time or however long it might take to do all that together. During my sprints, I had my Garmin watch with me today, and it has a GPS module in it. And so I have an exact speed now of how fast my sprint is that I can measure over time and see if that changes at all. My top speed was 15.2 miles per hour. I'd like to see if I can increase that over time. We'll see. I'd like to talk a little bit about mindset again. The thought that came to me is that we can choose an outcome that we desire, but we cannot choose the required effort to get to that outcome. So whatever we choose as a goal, it's bundled with all these other things, all these other places we need to put our effort and the time it takes to occur. And even then, the outcome itself is never within our complete control. We can only control the decisions we make on a moment-to-moment basis and hope that if everything turns out okay, we head toward that desired outcome and reach it. But ultimately, anything can happen in life. You can get injured. Your desires can change so that you don't even want to do that goal, or you don't want to do the required work to get to that goal. So there's no guarantees of outcomes. I was thinking about it kind of like sailing and how if you're heading into the wind, you have to tack. You can't go straight against the wind with your sail, but you can go diagonal and make some progress, turn and make a little progress. And that's the way pursuing a larger goal, a long-term goal is. You have to kind of pivot and make your way in the general direction of the goal because on a day-to-day basis, it's a different situation every day. And there's unforeseen effort that you're going to have to make. There's unforeseen things that impinge on your ability and change your choices available. So you have to be flexible. And a huge part of that mindset is the ability to stay positive and optimistic that you can make it to your goal, even though you know you're not in charge of the outcome. So I was thinking about being on a team during some sports event and your team is really behind. And everybody knows that in that situation, you've got a lot to do to catch up. It may even seem hopeless that it's impossible to be able to score enough points to catch up to the other team. The truth is, the outcome of the match is never guaranteed for anyone. And so the only guarantee is that if you don't do what you can to move toward that goal, you definitely won't make it. So in other words, there are things within our control and there are things outside of our control. Whether or not we reach our desired outcome is outside of our control. We have to make sure that everything within our control, to the extent possible, is helping us toward that goal. But there's some leeway because the world isn't entirely against you in all situations. And there are general rules that you can apply, and cause and effect works in such a way that it's more probable that you'll get there if you do the things most associated with that outcome. So I'm basically saying, don't fret over day-to-day interruptions or problems that arise, because we're not able to plan a perfect route to our goal. We can only plan to replan every time we need to. As long as we know what our goal is, we can always adjust course as we go. And we will have to adjust course as we go. So don't take it as a negative when things aren't going your way or when you have to change your plan. Because when we choose the outcome at the outset, we don't really know what it takes to get there. We won't know till we've gotten there what it took to get there. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll make another video tomorrow.